Amazing. Thank you so much. Hey guys, how are we doing tonight? Welcome to Monday night onboarding. Love seeing y'all's faces. Love seeing the smiles. You guys are excited and ready to go tonight. We're going to do it. Listen, every time I do onboarding, we kind of do the same thing. I run through the logistical side of it relatively quick, and then we kind of talk a little bit briefly about what you just got involved with and what I think you need to have success inside of this industry and inside of this business. And then we'll open it up for a few Q&As there at the end. So with that, my name is Kyle Kimbrough. My wife and I, Joe, have been involved with Lifeway for just over 2 years now. And Lifeway has been really, really good to us. We love this business. We love this product. And we certainly love the people we get to do it with every day, like you guys. That's the greatest part of it that you don't expect when you get started is just the actual community aspect of it. And so, what we have done, for those of you that have never been on an onboarding call or don't know how this team came together, there's about 14 leaders that have fairly large organizations and very large organizations. And we all came together and said, how can we unite and how can we give people the resources that they need to have success? And so that birthed something that we like to call Wellness Revolution. And the Wellness Revolution is an all in one system that is all that you need to get started in this business. So you literally, for those of you that are new, you just bought into by purchasing your product. By the way, that was your only expense. It's some great product. You bought into a business that is already created for you. The system is there. The steps are there. It's a plug and play system. And that's the best thing that you can hear tonight on this call because you don't have to recreate the wheel. And there's nothing that you need to actually physically go out and create and dream up and make up and invent, if you will, in order to start this business. It's already there. And so that's what's cool. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you a little bit around Wellness Revolution. That way you understand exactly what we're talking about here. So this right here, wellnessrev.org, is the page that we send everybody to. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, there are very few things that you need to know about this business. Actually, I don't really know of any that are not somewhere on this website. Okay? Like this is it. This is your go-to. And here's what we recommend. This is how every new person that we sponsor and that joins this business, we send them to wellnessrev.org. And the most important thing is we say, here's what you do. You go right here to this Get On Board tab and you click it. And then when that pops up, what you see is a 20-day business launch system. And again, I just want to encourage you, this takes the pressure off of you as the sponsor or as the leader. You're like, well, I just signed somebody up. How do I onboard them? What do they need to know? How do I coach them up? How do I get them started and get them into activities so they know what to say and they know how to say it and they know what all this means? It's all right here. It's done. Isn't that crazy? It's done. Now, here's what I'll tell you. The simple things to do are also the simple things not to do. And so, as much time and effort and energy and hours and weeks and months and thousands of dollars that have gone into what I'm showing you right now, it's so simple now because all the work's been done that sometimes people don't do it. So, I would encourage you among like the top thing that you can do in this business for you and for your people that you bring in is go through the 20-day business launch. Guys, when you click on it, like day one, for example, it's going to come up and it's going to show you several things. First few things is it's going to show you is just a few videos. If you click on them, they go to a YouTube and you're going to watch a couple videos that are usually always less than 2 minutes. Sometimes they stretch to three, but very quick. Everything per day shouldn't take you longer than maybe 15 minutes. That's it. And guys, if you don't have 15 minutes a day to invest into this business, then something's wrong, right? Like you're on this for a reason. You joined this for a reason. So this is very doable. It shows you how to get your enrollment link that you send to people when they're ready to join. Shows you how to get your customer link. It shows you how to get access to some of the things that we have. And then you go to day two on the next day, and you'll see it's the same thing. It's more of the same, but we're giving you the information that we all think that you need day by day as you progress through it. Now, a couple of other things. So again, this is the most important thing, your 20-day launch. A couple of other things that I think are a really big deal on this website that I want you to know about. The resource tab. If you click on that, you will see here that you have more resources than you probably want to read. Okay, there's a lot. Um, all kinds of things from just straight up the opportunity slides when we do a presentation. This is where we grab them from to the enrollment forms. Um, we talk a lot about the 2-10-1 method. And the 2-10-1 method, you can go there and you can find some insight on that. But I'll tell you right now, let me just get into this for just a minute. Guys, we believe that if you will talk to two people a day, okay, all week long, I mean, we're not working Saturdays and Sundays, we're just assuming you're not. So that's 5 days a week. So that's where you get 10 people, right? Two people a day, 5 days a week is 10 people. One of them is going to say yes to getting on these patches or joining you in the business or both. Guys, if you can build a 2-10-1 type business, meaning if you can do this every single week, you will not have the same life 12 months from now. I promise you, you will not have the same life. You will build such a massive organization, and your life will be totally changed by the people that have been blessed by this physically and also financially. You will never live the same life if you just did that. If there's anything that you could leave here and go, hey, what do I really need to do to have success? It's that right there. Talk to two people a day, 5 days a week. One joins, teach them how to do the same, and your life will never look the same in 12 months. I promise you. But there's all kinds of things on this resource tab. The other thing that I think is really cool is you can go and you can find out all kinds of stuff. Actually, you can find the comp plan. I guess I'll talk about that for a minute. Our compensation plan pays 9 ways. It's confusing when you first like hear about it. You're like, wait, that's a lot. If you want to take some time, if you want to really understand it, Jay and I, this is Jay Atkins. We did we had a conversation about what this comp plan um, how it pays. And we kind of broke it down into every way that we get paid into a small video. Again, most of them not very long. You can do that and research that. We have the community testimonials. If I go to community here and then I'll stop because you guys can click around. I'm not trying to click everything for you, but it just talks about connecting with the community. We do trips, some amazing, amazing trips. Some of the best times that we've had have been in Destin, Florida, doing the trips that we do. You can see the people that have ranked up and kind of what's going on, rank advancements, the partners of the month. We always have a book club going on. Guys, there's more here than you want to know. If you scroll down here, you can see join the community. Our Telegram app, English and Spanish. Guys, Telegram is going to be where we communicate a lot. So every day, usually you get a message on Telegram telling you, first of all, at the beginning of the week, it's usually the week schedule, but then every day it'll tell you what's going on that day because we have calls all the time. And here's what's cool. You miss a call, go to the YouTube channel. I mean, look at this, guys. Come on. English and Spanish right here. We have the most popular videos, and then we have every call, usually within the evening that it's done, but for sure the next day, as it uploads onto the system, then we upload it here. So you can never have an excuse for missing a call. Now, I will say this, there's some that aren't recorded. This call is recorded. Wednesdays at 11:30, I do a training call that is recorded. We Thursday we do a recorded call on some training. Our opportunity calls are not recorded because we want people to come hear that live. Usually, if you send people a recording of an op call, they won't be on, and so you want to try to get them on live. And so, but guys, this is Wellness Revolution, and that is what you need to know. Again, I'll say this one more time: like this is everything that you need. Um, to have success in this business. It's all right here. But I will tell you, and I'll stop the screen share. Don't get lost in that for too long because you can get paralysis by analysis and you can start looking into the details so much that you actually never do anything that makes you money. We call that income producing activities. Like IPA, income producing activity, that's where you want to focus. So the way that we designed the 20-day launch program is yeah, spend 10 or 15 minutes doing that. You have to. You need to understand the basics. But for the rest of the day, you should be talking to people. You should be introducing people into this business and into the patch. That's where you're actually going to make money in this business. And I do want to just very briefly, I want to tell you, I've had a few people lately say, "All right, what do you say to people? Like what exactly do you do?" And guys, I'll tell you, it's different every time. It just depends. Are we at the baseball game and I'm sitting next to a dad and he asks me, "What do you do?" Or are we at the grocery store? Or am I calling a friend telling them they got to be in this business? But I'll tell you kind of the high level of what I always touch on. Okay. The number one question that I ask people at all times. So I say, "What do you know about stem cells? What do you know about peptides?" Those two words right there, or stem cells, I guess is two words. So those three words right there, those two questions, Guys, that'll give you all the information that you need out of them. What do you know about stem cells? What do you know about peptides? That is the absolute biggest buzzwords in the health industry today. And they'll tell you something. Guys, guess what? That's all we do. Our patch does what? It elevates your copper peptide, which by the way is the best peptide you can elevate from all the benefits and the 50 years of government research on it. And then one of the defaults to that peptide being elevated is your dormant stem cells awaken and come back to life, making it not anti-aging, but literally age reversal. That is what we do. We elevate a peptide that in turn reactivates your dormant stem cells and age reverses you. And by the way, we have a patent that is we are globally protected. No one can do what we do. I don't care what injections people are injecting today with peptides. It has been proven scientifically it cannot touch what we do with LifeWave. Those are totally different, by the way. Those are also synthetic, by the way. That's also not your body's natural way to elevate your peptide. We are naturally elevating our own peptide through our own body's chemistry, right? Through phototherapy of the patch that reactivates your dormant stem cells. If you understand that, you understand everything about this business. And that's what I say. That's what I talk about. And I'll tell you this, you'll learn as you get going. The less is best. Like you don't want to tell people too much. My grandpa used to have a saying, he was a school teacher, but then he was in real estate for the rest of his life, which was a long time. And he would tell people all the time, when somebody asks you what time it is, don't tell them how the clock works. Tell them what time it is. Sometimes people will ask you one simple question and you will want to explain so much more than they even knew that they were going to they should be asking. If somebody says, what does the patch do? I just told you. Well, it elevates your GHK, your copper peptide, and then your dormant stem cells reactivate. And then be quiet. They're going to have a question after that. Let them lead the conversation with their questions and answer them, right? I've answered this so many different ways. People will say, hey, what do you do, Kyle? I'm like, oh, we're in the stem cell business. That's one way. And that's all I say. Nowadays, you can say, because this is a buzzword, like I said, we're in the peptide business. Ooh, peptides. Oh my gosh. Yeah, everyone's doing that. What do you do in the peptide business? Well, we have a globally protected one, or a way to elevate your own peptides naturally, your own, through your own body's chemistry, that then brings back all your dormant stem cells. And then I'm quiet. Like it's the less you say, the more curious they are. You know what people really want in life? What they can't have. That's what people really want. And so when you almost give them just enough to keep them intrigued, but they're kind of like looking for more, that's what people want. When you throw up all over them and tell them they can't live without this and they have to try this and oh my gosh, you got to do this, you got to do this. They don't want that. Now I will say, my friends, people I know, I 100% did that because I already had trust with them over months, years, and decades, right? So I can call them and say, "Give me your credit card," and they start laughing. I was like, "No, I'm dead serious. I'm about to change your world. Give me your credit card for a cup of coffee a day. I'm gonna elevate a peptide inside of you and bring back your dormant stem cells. You're never gonna feel better. I need you to trust me for 90 days with a cup of coffee." Now, what friend literally would say no to that when you present it like that? A good friend would be like, "Hold on, what? 90 days, you want me to trust you? It costs a cup of coffee a day, and you're telling me physically I'm never going to feel better. This is 100% natural and it's using my own body's chemistry? Yeah, tell me more, but here's my credit card. Order me that." You with me? Like that's what I say to my friends. So that's how I talk to people. And then I'm always more engaging about them than they are about me. So I'm going to ask them about them and their career and their business and their family and things like that. And I'm going to get them talking more than I'm talking because when they leave me, I'm talking about a new acquaintance, somebody you just met or you're just sitting next to at one of your kids' events or something. Somebody that you can't just tell them, give me your credit card. Very seldom are they going to just join immediately. It might take a couple different encounters, or you may have to tell them about it, maybe then send them a little info and they're going to reach back out after they look into it a few days later. But I'm always asking them more about them. So when they leave me, they're always a little hungry for more of, wait, what does he do? What is it? What are those things? That's how I want people feeling. I want them going, man, he's a really nice guy. You know why people think I'm a nice guy? Because I will ask you about you a whole lot. And when people talk about themselves, they tend to they read that as that, man, that other person is really a nice guy. And genuinely, I try to be a really nice guy. But you with me? You know what I'm saying? If I was talking all about me and my new business, they would just think, man, that guy, whew, all he wants to do is get you into his deal. That's not what you want. Now, I'll tell you a couple more things, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. This business, and listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. It's not going to make a lot of sense. Well, actually, let me start with this. Imagine a train. Okay, we all have heard this analogy 1,000 times, but I want you to think about it through a different lens. If a train is going full speed, you can have, I'm talking 70, 80 miles, 90 miles an hour. You can have a 5 foot concrete steel reinforced wall on the tracks, and it will blow through it. One of the most powerful things that we have, engine wise, right? Yet, if the train is stopped, I can almost take this mouse, right? But I can take a block of wood and I can put it underneath the wheel and it can't move. Now, think about that. One of the most powerful things we have can be stopped by literally a 2x4 on the tracks before it gets going. Once it gets going, it's virtually impossible to stop. Okay, think about this for a minute. The amount of effort that it is going to take you in life in general, forget about this business specifically, I mean in general, to make, let's call it $100,000 a year is going to be great. It's going to be great. That's a lot of people's goal. Hey, I'd love to make 6 figures. I'd love to make $100,000 a year, $8,000 a month, right? That is a big amount of effort. I want to like imagine it's like let's do this. You're here, little OU, right? And you have to work really hard to break out of this box to make $100,000. I'm talking little OU. Look at this. YOU. This is you. You with me? You got a long way to go, usually a lot of effort. Now listen, everyone in life that I know anyways has to work. They weren't given something when they weren't born into a trust or anything. We all have to work. So that shouldn't scare you. That's normal. But here's what I want you to understand. Whenever you make that $100,000, that effort, that effort to get to 250, look at this. Do you see this right here? You see how much effort it took you to get outside of that first box? And then do you see that the effort that it's going to take from 100 to $250,000 is a lot less? In fact, like maybe less than half. That's what happens. That's the power of this business. And that is exactly how people grow their wealth. It takes a lot of effort to break out of the first box, but after the first box to get to that second box, it's a little easier. Now watch this. All I have is a magazine. These are great props I didn't know I had. Look at that. Now I want you to imagine this. Once again, a lot of effort to get out of the first box. Not as much effort to get to say 250,000 after you've made 100. Look how much little effort it then takes to get to 500,000. Y'all, that is how this business works. I want you to understand. The hardest part of this business is getting started and getting something off the ground. And take those numbers down to wherever they need to be. Hey, you want to make $500 a week, $500 a month, whatever it is. The hardest part is actually getting to that point because you're new and you're getting things started. And again, the train and can be stopped just with a 2x4. You got to push through to move the 2x4 to get it going. But as it starts to get going, it picks up speed easier and easier and easier. Does that make sense? So as you get into this business, just understand you have to commit to yourself that you're going to give this business a year shot. And I mean a legit year. I don't mean a year you were on a call a month and you thought maybe you talked to 3 people. No, I mean a legit. Give yourself a year of doing the 2-10-1 method. And I'm telling you, through that year, what you're going to find is you're going to grow. And the magic of this business is the more you grow, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the less you can really stop growth. It's exactly what I just showed you on that page. The bigger you get, the less effort you have to put forth to maintain and to continue. And I know that that sounds too good to be true, and like no, it's the absolute truth. And anyone and everyone that's ever had success in any business will tell you the same thing in this industry. Not in every industry, but in this industry. Some industries, it's a lot harder because you got to take on a lot more debt and a lot more employees and all kinds of stuff, and it gets crazy in traditional business. Not in this business. Not in this business. It almost gets easier. So I just implore you, please, please, please push through that. Second thing I wanted to tell you is because of that, now listen, because of that, because how big this business can get, I look at it like this. The amount of income that a traditional person in America that works a 9 to 5 is going to make in 30 to 50 years, we're trying to make in 3 to 5 years here. That's the name of the game. Literally, for every 10 years that somebody is doing something in normal traditional America, we're trying to do that in one as far as income goes. And so with that comes what I call highs and lows and managing highs and lows. Before I got into this industry, I was in real estate. And in the commercial real estate world, I would evaluate my business usually maybe every 6 months, for sure annually, sometimes by every now and then you do it every quarter, and you're like, all right, quarterly, how do we do? Where are we at? Things of that nature. But for sure, a couple times a year. And so your highs and your lows are over weeks and months. Again, 30-year career. Now we're going to talk about a 3 to 5 year business. Guys, your highs and your lows don't come in a matter of weeks and months. They almost don't even come in a matter of days and weeks. They almost come hourly. They almost come hourly. You can be as high as a kite because you just sponsored 3 people and you're ready to run. And then the next day, 2 of them can call and say they read something on the internet and they don't want to be involved anymore. And all of a sudden you're low. And then the next thing, next you're high because something else happened. Like the management of your highs and lows in this business is crucial. Because without that emotional management, you won't make a year. You won't make a year. Guys, listen, I'll tell you like this. If this was easy, everyone would do it and everyone would be a millionaire. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this business is easy because it's not. But I will tell you this might be the most simple thing that you've done. It's very simple. There's only a few things that we do. We introduce people to the patch and we introduce people to the business. And that's it. And I just told you how I introduced myself to both of those and it's not complicated. So if you can manage the emotional side between the ears, if you can win mentally, you can 100% win financially. And so in order to do that, you have to take on the mindset of a CEO. And a CEO doesn't let things come to him, he takes things to them. Meaning you have to be very active and very you got to grow. You've got to invest in yourself. You've got to become a better version of you, a better leader. You've got to start reading some books, listening to some podcasts, and you need to be an individual that is constantly on the growth journey. Because the more that you grow as a CEO of your business, which you are, the more your business can grow. And that's again, I'm talking mentally. The more you grow here, the more your business can grow. Because without this, it's hard to grow because you can't manage those highs and lows that I talked about very well, and it doesn't take long and you're out. But when you can manage them really well, you can push through them and you can also see the future, right? Because you're growing, you're seeing so much growth, you're becoming such a better individual person, leader, friend, everything. Those things get real easy to manage. So with that, I went through that as fast as I could. It took 26 minutes. I apologize. But we do have a few minutes here, and I do want to open it up in case anybody has a burning question or two. So if you guys have a question, you can raise your hand or you can just unmute. I like it. Okay. Well, good. Well, guys, no one has a question. I will let you go. I'm not going to hold you. But I very much appreciate you. Thank you for your time tonight. Oh, yes, yes.
Hola, Kai.
Yes, ma'am. Hola.
Me, hi Kyle.
Hola. Gracias.
Hi,
Soy
thank
Mireya
you.
y bueno,
I'm Mireya,
me gustó ahorita
and
lo que enseñaste
I
de los
liked what you
cuadros
taught
y
today.
Sí, creo que lo de la mentalidad es súper
And I
importante,
do
hacer
think
el
that
cambio,
mindset is super
pero
important to make
¿cómo
that change.
pasar
But
del
how can you
cuadro,
pass
del primer
from
cuadro para lograr salir
the
ese cuadro
first
que
box
mencionas, que
to be able
es
to
el
get
que
out of that
más
first box, which is the one that
trabajo
you have
cuesta?
to make more
¿Cómo
effort to
lograr
get out
salir?
of? How can you
Porque
get out
mencionabas que
of
hay que estar
that?
haciendo las
Because you
acciones
mentioned that you
correspondientes,
have to
estar
do
hablando con
the
personas,
corresponding
estar
actions. You need to
prospectando.
be talking to people. You
em,
need to be prospecting.
y ¿cómo
And
hago para que mi
how
equipo, que como
can
que se me cayó
because my
cuando
team
vino el
fell
cambio del plan de
when
compensación,
the compensation
se
plan
cayó mi
changed.
equipo y se me
My
cayó a
team
mí y en
fell.
ese momento tal vez yo
And
no
at that
tenía la
moment,
suficiente
maybe I
fortaleza
didn't have
mental,
enough
honestamente hablando,
mindset strength,
y entonces se cayó
honestly.
mi equipo y yo un poco.
So my team fell
¿Cómo
and
lograr,
my
si es
motivation
que
fell
se
a bit too?
puede,
So
recuperar al
how can I,
equipo
if
y
it's
si no,
possible,
cómo
recover my
recuperar
team, or how can I
el poder
recover
hablar con las personas? Yo en aquel
the
entonces
being
he de
able to
haber
talk to
contactado
people?
como a
Because
300
at that
personas,
time I had
quizás no es
contacted
mucho.
around 300 people.
Sin
Maybe it's
embargo,
not a
bueno,
lot. De
de esas 300
of
personas
those
yo logré
300 people,
incorporar
I
más o
was
menos casi a
able to
50 personas.
enroll approximately
Y
almost
bueno,
50 of
ahorita
them.
de esas 50 pues ya
And right now,
se
out
me
of
fue
those
así como
50,
desmoronando. Entonces, ¿cómo
they've
lograr
been
recuperar
falling
todo
out.
eso?
So how can I
Porque yo
recover
sí
all that?
quiero
Because
al
I
menos
do
generar 10 mil
want
dólares. Esa es
to
mi meta,
generate at
10 mil
least
dólares mensuales. Ya
$10,000.
cuando
That's
los
my
genere, ya
goal.
pensaré en 100 mil, en
10,000
200
monthly
mil y en un
dollars.
medio
Then
millón.
after that, I'll think
¿Cómo
of a hundred
lograr eso,
thousand
Kyle?
and half
Muchas
a million.
gracias.
But
Y
how
me
can
encanta
I
porque eres tan
recover that, Kyle? Thank
sencillo
you
en tu
very much.
forma
And
de
I'm asking you
pensar, en tu
because
forma de hacer las
you
cosas,
are
que yo
so
quiero hacer eso,
transparent in
hacerlo
your
así
way
de
of thinking
sencillo.
and explaining things that I want to be as like you.
Mhm. Very, very kind. I appreciate the kind words. And that is a great question. So thank you for asking that. Okay, a couple things that I'll tell you to give you some encouragement. Number one, you just hang tight because Compensation Plan 2.0, they realize they need to make drastic changes, and there are drastic changes coming, and I mean amazing changes. So you just hang tight on that. That will be taken care of. And let me tell you, by the way, let me tell you how we've managed that over the last year as they've been working through advancing it. This is a long-term play. And I view things more long term, especially the older that I get in business, because you are going to have things in business like you just mentioned, where people are dying. You're going to have those waves in your organization where people start to fall off and don't do as much, and then you're going to have waves where they do, or when new people come, and it's going to be it's going to that's the emotional highs and lows like I were talking about. And so when Comp Plan 2.0 came out and it wasn't what we thought it was going to be or what the company thought it was going to be, I knew in the back of my mind, and I also knew because we've been told this 1,000 times because we get to actually have conversations with leadership and with David, they're fixing it. And they're fixing it in the biggest of ways. See, LifeWave's been around for 22 years, right? David wants Lifeway to be around another 22 years and have just as much and more success. And so this little, if I think if you look, let's assume that Lifewave is going to be around for 50 years. So we're a little less than halfway. If you look at it, this is going to be a little blimp on the radar. And I say that respectfully because I know it is absolutely not a little blimp to all of us that are in it right now. Right? It wasn't, but it's being made right. And I do want you to know that. I want you to have faith in what David is doing. I'm telling you, it is being made right. Okay. And it is going to be cool. So hang tight on that. Um, Now, the other thing that I would say is I think in this industry, there are going to be times, I don't think, and I know from personal experience, and I think anybody that's been in a long time, I've been in or around this industry for 20 years now. For about 12 of them, it's been my full-time deal. And there are going to be times where you almost have to start over. And I don't mean start from scratch because you're never starting from scratch. But I do mean have that mentality of, hey, I'm going to go build again. Like I built once and I need to go build again. Now when I built once, I went from here to here. Maybe I went to here and then maybe now it's here, but I need to go build again. I'm gonna go build again and stretch, right? It's kind of like you went up 4 steps. Well, you just fell back down two. Well, we're gonna go up four again, right? And we're gonna be 8 steps away. That is sometimes the case inside of this business. It happens to us, it happens to everybody. You will have people that eventually will fall off, and you need people to replace them, or you need some sort of something in your business that was different than before. That is, in my opinion, where you have to have the CEO mindset. So here's a good example that I'll give you. Um, we have let's see, what's a restaurant? Starbucks, call it Starbucks, whatever. Everyone knows Starbucks. Let's not assume, when Starbucks opens a new location, there's an owner behind it, right? They own it. When that owner opens, let's say they start with 20 different employees. Now, what do you think would happen if a year from them opening, 10 of those employees went on to do something else? Would the owner shut down Starbucks? No, no. The owner has risked everything in his world, probably mortgaged his house, borrowed from everyone he knows, made a huge financial commitment, knows that it's going to be a 20 or 30-year plan, but he's all in. And quite frankly, he doesn't really care who comes and goes. He knows there's going to be a lot of hiring and firing and rehiring and firing, but he knows that in order for him to have the success that he wants and build his dreams, he's going to make it work no matter who's coming. That's how we have to think. That's how we have to think. This is our business. We're going to do this for the next decade, and we're going to be set free long before 10 years from now, but we're going to do it for 10 years, right? But we're going to be set free through this process. And it doesn't matter who comes and who goes, and what person comes and what person leaves and what person stays, doesn't matter. I'm doing it. I'm doing it with or without you. And so when you have people that fall off, it can be very discouraging, but you have to have that kind of mindset and go, it's my dream. It's not your dream. I thought you were coming with me, but you're not. That sucks because I wanted your dreams to come true, but I'm going to find somebody else and we're still going to live our dream. That's literally how you have to think. I mean, a perfect example would be for those of you guys that have been around for a little while, Kendall Weldon. You know, Joe and I, my wife and I personally sponsored Kendall into this business, and she was a huge um, leader in this business and had a massive team. Kendall left, right? She left. And when she left, she took people. She took a lot of people. She took a lot of leaders on her team, not no one else. But she left, and she left, and it was like I still love her. I love Kendall and Tyler. You know, they're family. We love them, but they're just not going to be with us on this journey to chase our dreams with LifeWave, right? That's just how it goes. So I don't know if that helps. But that when she left, it wasn't, and I'll tell you, I'll be very honest with you. When she left, I wasn't discouraged. I think everybody's on another journey and everyone has freedom to do what they want to do. And if she felt like she was being led somewhere else, I'm happy for her. Did it affect our business? Sure. But over the course of the next few years, did it affect our business? No, no, because it doesn't matter who's in and who's out. We know where we're going with or without them, right? So that's how you got to think. Thank you. Great question. Very valid. Okay, guys. Kept you on a little bit after 6:30. Oh, Millie, did you want to say something? Or are you saying bye?
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. My apologies. I wanted to be here earlier, but when you haven't eat food for like 8 hours, you're like dying.
You better get something to eat.
Yes. I know I'd be able to just go ahead and listen to it again.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, it'll be posted.
Definitely another one of those eh, eh, trainings that I'm so excited that you're speaking.
Oh, you're very sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a good evening, and thank you very much for your time. I will be looking for the recording and
It'll be posted soon.
okay.
Thank you, Millie.
Bye-bye.
Guys, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your great questions. Appreciate you guys. We'll holler at you soon. Have a good night.